Sometimes news stories don't go the way you expect, and sometimes they do, in startling ways. I certainly didn't expect to be proved right about the killing of Charlie Kirk in quite the way I have. When it happened, I didn't know much about the fellow. His politics is not mine, and he had not come within Vox Political's sphere of interest. When he was shot, my interest was in the way the tragedy was instantly weaponized by agitators on the far right in my own country, the United Kingdom. Here's what I had to say about it in a video clip I didn't even have time to upload before the story changed. A leading right-wing political commentator in the United States has been shot dead, sparking a backlash of hate against people on the political left, who probably have nothing to do with it. Let us be clear from the start. The assassination of Charlie Kirk is a heinous act of political violence. No matter his views or affiliations, nobody should be targeted for murder just for expressing their beliefs. This tragedy underscores an urgent need to address the escalating climate of political hostility and to reaffirm our commitment to civil discourse and democratic values. Right. On the afternoon of September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk, a 31-year-old conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot during a public speaking event at Utah Valley University, UVU, in Orem, Utah. The incident occurred during his American Comeback Tour, a series of campus appearances aimed at mobilizing young conservatives across the United States. Kirk was seated at his signature Prove Me Wrong table, engaging with students in a question and answer session, when a gunshot rang out, the bullet striking him in the neck. Eyewitnesses reported that the shot came from an elevated position around 200 yards away, consistent with the direction of the Losi Center rooftop. I may have pronounced that wrong. The shooting caused immediate panic. Students fled in all directions, some tripping over benches or falling while trying to escape. Sarah Chewell, a UVU student present at the scene, described the chaos, and I quote, "Blood was gushing everywhere. A friend and I ran into a building and ran out and down the street just trying to get to safety." Kirk was rushed to a nearby hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. The FBI, in coordination with local law enforcement, launched an immediate investigation into the shooting. There is currently no evidence suggesting left-wing involvement in Kirk's assassination. Before the circumstances of Kirk's death were fully established, some UK right-winger commentators began using the tragedy to attack the political left, framing them as morally corrupt and violent. These narratives, often spread through social media, illustrate the danger of weaponizing a tragedy without evidence. Daily Mail columnist Sarah Vine wrote on X, and I quote, "This is not about left versus right anymore. It's about good versus evil. They can't win the debate, so they kill. We are in a very dark place." Similarly, Reform UK's Alex Phillips posted, and I quote again, "I don't want to hear the words fascist or Nazi or far right ever again. These words kill." These statements suggest that Kirk's death is a product of left-wing ideology, despite the fact that there is no verified evidence linking the left to the shooting. Hashtags such as Stop the Left began trending on X and Instagram. Many posts explicitly claimed that left-wing activists were responsible, often without verification, creating a sense of imminent threat. Observers have noted that framing the debate in moral absolutist terms, good v evil, circumvents rational analysis and encourages emotional responses, Studies on online political polarization show that these binary narratives increase hostility and reduce the likelihood of evidence-based discussion. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. It wasn't long before a suspect was found and arrested, and the same agitators tried to claim that he was a lefty, a red not so much under the bed as on the roof. Except, as I pointed out in a Vox Political text article, while some reports have labelled Tyler Robinson as left-wing, a closer examination suggests a much more nuanced picture. Robinson, 22, grew up in a conservative Mormon community in Washington, Utah. While his family held right-leaning Republican views, Robinson himself had developed personal and social experiences that distanced him from that worldview, including a relationship with a transgender partner. He was registered to vote, but never affiliated with a political party. Investigators recovered bullet casings at the scene, engraved with a mix of inscriptions, ranging from online memes to cultural references. And I quote, "Hey fascist, catch," with up arrow, right arrow, and 3 down arrows, referencing the video game Helldivers 2, where the arrow sequence calls in a dramatic in-game weapon. The phrase is part of the game's satirical, militaristic language and is best understood as a dramatic or meme-style reference rather than a literal political statement. Then there's "Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao," which quotes the Italian anti-fascist song Bella Ciao. It may signal opposition to Kirk's ideology or engagement with anti-authoritarian culture, but it alone does not indicate a comprehensive left-wing political identity. Then there's "If you read this, you are gay," LMAO, and "Notice his bulge, OWO, what's this?" They're examples of internet and subcultural humor, reflecting engagement with meme communities rather than a coherent political ideology. Taken together, these inscriptions paint a picture of someone deeply immersed in online gaming subcultures, using humor, satire, and cultural references to express themselves. The presence of Bella Ciao may reflect symbolic anti-fascist sentiment, but it does not prove a formal alignment with left-wing politics. Robinson's online activity similarly shows a mixture of meme culture, gaming, but only occasional political references, rather than consistent ideological engagement. Analysts have suggested that his opposition to Kirk and his political milieu may have been more personal and situational than driven by structured political beliefs. In short, Tyler Robinson's actions appear to have been rooted in a complex mix of personal experiences, cultural influences, and online subcultures. While some elements reference anti-fascist or left-leaning symbols, the evidence does not clearly support the claim that he was a committed left-wing activist. I thought that would be that. But then I started getting messages about someone called Nick Fuentes and a group calling themselves Groypers, which I thought was a bit of an unfortunate name, all things considered. So I had to look into that, and this is what I found. Nick Fuentes is a far-right commentator whose followers, the Groypers, are known for heckling conservative events in order to push them further to the right. Their most famous clashes with Charlie Kirk and his Turning Point USA organization took place between 2019 and 2020 and are now known as the Groyper Wars. At the time, Groypers accused Kirk of being too moderate, questioned him on immigration and Israel, and labelled him a fascist and even an undercover liberal. This is a tactic of flipping the fascist accusation onto liberals, and it's common in far-right rhetoric. Some Groypers even circulated a Groyper Wars Spotify playlist, which included the song Bella Ciao. That may explain why some are now linking Robinson's casing inscription to Groyper culture. but there is no confirmed evidence that Robinson was a member of the Groypers or had any direct contact with Nick Fuentes. While some Groyper-linked memes and playlists featured Bella Ciao, Robinson's choice to engrave it could just as easily come from anti-fascist, ironic, or pop culture sources. The meaning is ambiguous. So the available evidence shows that Tyler Robinson opposed Charlie Kirk and engraved slogans on bullet casings that drew from meme culture, gaming, furry subculture, and one anti-fascist anthem. While some of these overlap with imagery that has circulated in Groyper circles, there is no proof that Robinson was part of Fuentes' far-right movement. It now seems clear that the left had nothing to do with this attack, but nor is there yet any hard evidence tying Robinson to the Groypers. Until investigators release more, the safe conclusion is that his motivations remain muddy, a mixture of personal hostility, irony, and internet subculture. The warning is simple: don't jump to conclusions that aren't supported by facts. I've been Mike Sivier, and it's time to buy me a coffee. It means donating cash to help keep Vox Political alive. Donate more than £15 and I'll give you a free digital copy of my current pamphlet, The Whip Line, for July 2025. Donate £20 or more and I'll give you a choice between a free digital copy and a free paperback book. Subscribe to the video mailing list, like and comment on this video clip, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you do all that, then not only will you have a shiny new book to read, but you'll also be helping keep this channel alive. And then you'll be able to see me in the next one.